Okay. Yeah. As I was talking, yeah, we have one more week called veracity, which is which is very hard to analyze the data. Basically, like when we say veracity, yeah, you can see you might have already seen, like we are using a lot of chatting softwares like WhatsApp, Google Talk, and other utilities like Kafka. Okay, there, yeah, there actually what we do is we generally basically use the short notations to send our messages. Say for example, if I just say GM, that means it says good morning. That means it is very hard for the analytics team to identify which what was the conversation basically when we do the text analytics. Okay. Yeah, right now the current the challenges are with the big data is to find the right talent. When I say right talent, see all of there is a misconception of the people. A lot of people that they say whenever I want to learn big data, and they the people say, yeah, I know you have to know Java, but actually this is not the case, because Hadoop ecosystem has provided a lot of tools, so that even a guy who knows the basics of SQL can start working on the Hadoop platform. Basically, we have different utilities as well, because see, when we talk about Hadoop or the big data platform, it is basically only two major things that we always work, that we work here. Only one is the distributed processing and one is your distributed storage. When I say distributed storage, it is basically your HDFS. That means earlier I had an issue with storing with say with collating all my structured, unstructured, and as well as semi-structured data into one place, because yeah, my RDBMS won't support that, because RDBMS won't only support your structured data. Okay, but suppose if you have data in multiple forms, or in with the different on the different platforms, then there was an issue integrating all these data. That's why, like, yeah, what Hadoop has done is Hadoop has given a framework of tools, you can say, where you can collect all your data into one platform, basically your HDFS. When I say HDFS, it is basically a container where you can you can use the normal machines disk space to build your cloud. I can say it's basically a cloud itself. Okay, then it's not only about storage. When I say I know I don't want to just store the data. I want to do some processing, and I want to make use of the analytics. Okay, there the the processing comes. And processing, yeah, we have different tools. Suppose if you are very good at Java, then you can go for a MapReduce program, or say I'm not a Java programmer. If I'm just an SQL developer, I can say. I can just go for my my Hive programs, or maybe say if my business says that that I want to store the the cubes, or maybe say the analytical data, where I can just go for a HBase. Okay. There are a lot of there are a lot of tools where you can use these utilities to do your data processing and as well as your data storage. And we have, yeah, and in Hadoop we have uh, we have a utility called scoop, where you can get your data from where you can get and put your data from 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 the HDFS, also from your relational databases. Okay, you can say, yeah, let me just give you a brief about this one. Yeah, if you can look at this Hadoop ecosystem, basically we have our Hadoop distributed file system to store any kind of data. Say if it is a structured data, if it is an unstructured data, if it is a semi-structured data, yeah, I can store all your data inside this particular container. Okay, then you have your MapReduce. Okay, where you can write your MapReduce programs to process this data. When I say process, yeah, I'm just doing some transformations so that it will be very helpful for the analytics team to to produce the reports for the business. Okay, and we have different utilities like Oozie. Oozie is basically your workflow, where you can you have worked with the ETL tools, where you schedule your jobs. you know Hadoop ecosystem is, have this particular Oozie tool to to schedule your workflows. We have a pig scripting. When I say pig scripting, it is basically a utility where you don't have the you don't have the place to store. Here it is just a scripting language to process your unstructured data. It's not only unstructured data, it's also the structured data as well. Okay. When I say unstructured data, it is again like, let me just give you an example of one of my project that I'm working. It is basically like, we are just we are just converting the customer service agent's voice recording, or you can say the customer service representatives, the calls, what they speak, what they speak with the customers. We are just converting those to text files, and we are just we are doing some text analytics to summarize the whole conversation. Okay. In that case, yeah, we use Big. Okay. And we have Mohot, which is for machine learning. When I say machine learning, it is always, you can think of about you can think of Amazon, where it will give you the recommendations. Okay, this is why we use Mohot. And we have R connectors. It is basically for your statistics. When I say statistics, you are by looking at your transactional data and by looking at your history, you're just building a model which will predict your business for, say, for the next quarter, or say for the next year. Okay. And we have a tool called Hive, where you can write where you can store and retrieve the structured data. And we have a HBase, which is a column oriented database, where you can this will be very useful in the when you want to do the real time reporting. When I say real time reporting, you can think of I think there was a big boom I think 2 years back, where there was a movie called Iron Man 3 was released, and they were, what they have done is they have just analyzed the let's say the trend of this particular movie. How was the movie and how was the rating given by all the end users, and that too it was the real time data. And for, if you can see here, we have a Zookeeper, which is basically your coordination service. When I say coordination service, when we talk about the Hadoop ecosystem, it's all your distributed machines. That means you have your multiple machines running running your Hadoop Hadoop software. And here Zookeeper is basically it is a coordination service between which will interact between your nodes. Or when I say nodes, it is basically your machines itself. And we have two more utility. One is your Scoop and one is your Flume. And Scoop is basically, we use Scoop for your data integration. That means when I want data from any of your third-party databases, we'll be using Scoop. And we'll be using Flume when we want to do any analysis on the logs. When I say logs, it is basically your machine logs. When I say machine logs, whenever you do any of anything in your laptop or in your machine, it is basically creating your activity log. Okay, these the companies use these logs to track what exactly you're doing on your machine. Okay, let me just show you what we have done in our last class. And here in our class, we'll be we'll be working with Red Hat Linux and and the Hadoop 1.2.1 install, which 1.2.1 install, which is basically your stable work for Red Hat Linux. Here in our class, what we'll be doing here is, we'll be starting we'll be studying from the scratch, like how what exactly big data is, and how how we are going to utilize our skills to learn this. And basically, when I talk about the Hadoop, it is basically like we have three different streams. One is, say, so for example, if you are very good at administration, if you are already working on administration profile, you can just concentrate only on say Hadoop administration, where you install your Hadoop, and where you can build your multi-node cluster, where you monitor your cluster, where you are basically using the different tools for load balancing. You can go for that particular profile. And when you say if you are good at, say, database development, or maybe say you are very good at SQL, and then other tools, you can choose for Hadoop development, where you have to be very say well versed with the Pig, Hive, and the HBase, because these are three utilities that we always use. And we have one more stream, which is your analytics, where you should have a good hands-on experience with Python, where you will be writing your Python script for the data analysis. Okay, you have to just choose your stream, and you have to concentrate working towards it. Okay. Yeah, this is what we'll be training in our session. First thing is, yeah, you'll be given a fresh machine to to start with, and you have to start installing the Hadoop, and you have to configure, and that's what we'll be doing. Any questions or anything? Yeah, right now the industry is maturing, and everyone has started exploring different tools and utilities that Apache has provided. Basically, like if you look at the job trends nowadays, for let me just tell you about my experience. Yeah, I have I have attended a lot of interviews, and it's basically like where you want to project yourself. That is where it lies, because a lot of companies have tried with the open sources, and sometimes, yeah, when we are working with open sources, yeah, there is a challenge of of getting the stable versions for the production, for the production servers. That's why what exactly the companies are doing is, they're implementing. They first check with the open sources. Once they're comfortable with that, they're just coming up with the different versions. Like right now there are two, I think three top companies which is leading this big data big data tools, which is, one is your Cloudera, where you have that particular company is basically what they have done is, they have integrated all these tools, all these open sources, and they have given you the nice, you can say, user interface to start working with. But here in our class, what we do is we just basically start from the installation itself. Like we know we know where the files are, we know how to configure, we know if there is any errors happens, we know where to go and what to do in the open sources. But whereas in Cloudera and all, yeah, you have to have a dedicated machine. You have to have, say, 8 GB of RAM to start to start working with Cloudera. And we have another competitor, which is your Hortonworks. Hortonworks also does the same thing. What they have done is, yeah, they have just integrated all the tools. They have configured all the files, and they have given a nice interface, the web interface to work with. And we have one more competitor, which is your IBM. IBM has got a tool called IBM, Info, sorry, IBM Big Insights, where where you have all the tools that is taken from your open source itself. And if you observe, like all these tools, they all use the same ports. When I say same ports, yeah, we will be using different. There are I think 5 to 6 ports which are very important in our in our classes. Those ports will also be available, will be used in these tools. But they say they're the they're the biggest providers. Yeah, if you can observe, we have if you can see my screen, we have done some some hands-on hands-on classes with our previous previous students. So, yeah, you can see here we have just configured the single node machine, and we have we have implemented Hadoop file system, and after that we have started working with the Pig. You can see we have we have worked with the Pig, and we have also worked with Hive, and we have written some of the scripts, and we have done basically, like what we have done is, we have explored a lot of tools, which is basically like which you have to know when you want to get into the big data when you want to explore the job opportunity, in big data stream, because big data has got a lot of tools, but where you credit yourself, is the challenge. And nowadays, yeah, you'll be, if you say if you have just 1 year or 2 years of experience, yeah, you'll be getting a lot of calls, on the Hadoop, on the basically Hadoop or big data. And yeah, one more thing, what I would suggest is, uh, whenever you want to learn big data, you have to have a basic knowledge of, say, the Unix commands, because Hadoop is built on an Unix platform. Even though if you want to install, say, Hadoop on your Windows, you should have a Sigwin. There is basically again which is a which is again a different package, which will give you the Unix environment on top of your Unix, on top of your Windows machine. Okay, but there is no hard rule that you should know Java, to learn Hadoop. But actually, there is a misconception. And if you're really, if you're really looking for, to get into an analytics field, then you should be very good at Python, where you can, write your Python programming or Python programs to, to do the data analysis or to build your statistical models.